Good morning, everybody, and welcome again to another fantastic Monday, and welcome to another edition of the show here at St. Times. I'm Barry Fair, and welcome along to you and to all the viewers out there. Well, this is episode 44, and the last week of winter, the last couple of days. Well, today we're going to talk about the rules of music and what you should do and what you should not do. And joining me now in the studio, it's a very good morning to Alex Taylor. Welcome to you. Good morning, Vader, and welcome.
Morning, Barry.
Morning, Barry. Thanks for having us on the show.
So, we must apologize for the noise, guys, but there's nothing we can do about it, so let's get straight in. Well, the rules about making music, okay? We've discussed this many times on the show, okay, and we're going to discuss it today. Now, Vader, agree with me, it is really important to think about the consequences and the rules before writing a song.
Yes, Barry, I think it's really important to know a little bit about that before you start the writing process and the creative process of putting together a song or a piece of music. Yes, and there are a few things to keep in mind. I wonder if you wanted to talk on that a little bit.
I will. Now, the first rule is commit yourself to writing it.
Thanks for money, John. I'll see you too.
Okay. And secondly, okay, don't just say, I can't do the song, when a lot of people have gone to a lot of trouble in organizing the recording studio, a place for you to set up at, like our lovely piano here, which you see in the background here, and that's where we're doing the show today. And secondly, be honest with the person that you are working with. Tell them what is wrong and why you don't want to go through with it. Here's Vader now.
Yeah, so I might just join you in camera here, because this was actually really exemplified really well last week when we were looking at finishing Barry's lyrics to his new original. And it was really great that Barry had the assertiveness and the ability to just let us know if things, if he didn't like certain things or wanted to make changes to certain things or add different things. And we always try to use, Barry's language and words and his creativity of what Barry comes up with to create his lyrics for his song. And it was a lovely collaboration, I think, but it was always with you in control of the project and with your decisions being listened to. And how did that make you feel?
Terrific. So guys, like going back over all of this, okay, it is really important that you are honest, be respectful to the person assisting with you. Don't go like explode and go red in the face. Okay, take some time out, go and just think, okay, yeah, just I'll ride with it. Here's Alex now.
Mate, that's great advice. So just, take deep breaths and be calm and go with it, and you'll get there in the end. And I really love what you were talking about in terms of commitment. It's good to follow things through and see them through to the end, isn't it? So those rules sound really good to me.
And another thing I'd like to recap, go back over, okay, you probably heard it ad nauseum, but for those of you that haven't watched the show and are planning to write a song, okay, don't just go and take someone else's work, because we have also discussed this before. Get permission from the person to take little bits and pieces, but not the whole, so that whole kit and caboodle, okay? Don't just go and steal someone's work when they worked a hell of a lot hard to get to that stage, because you could be taken to court for that. Here's Alec now.
Yeah, thanks, Barry. So it sounds like you're talking about copyright rules. So the
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so the rules around what you're allowed to copy from other people's music, and I think it's okay, isn't it, to be inspired by someone else's music, but you can't just directly copy someone else's music. It can sound a little bit like it, but you're not allowed to kind of literally copy their music and use it as your own. You've got to create something original and different, and if you don't, then yeah, you can go to court, and you can be sued, I guess.
Well, speaking of music, guys, I have for you, just have a look at this here. That
So cool. So super
lovely.
cool. Is that original? Is it from the 80s?
it is.
Wow, that is so super cool. Does it still play?
And that I was playing it last night.
You are kidding me. Wow. You must have kept it in good condition.
Yeah, and so be really very careful, guys, when writing music, okay? Because you want to record your own stuff. Yep, that's great. But remember, guys, be really careful and know what instruments you're going to use for the music too, such as electric guitars, drums, pianos, organs, maracas, tambourines, drums. I mentioned that. Okay, here now.
Yeah, so lots of different instruments that you can have in your music, and have a think about the different sounds that you want to have and the different vibe that you want to have in your music as well.
Like going, and then,
Beautiful tone there, Barry.
Yeah, lovely, and
stronger.
different sort of sounds in, sort of an open mouth sound versus sort of a humming with a closed mouth sound, different feel, and you might have different instruments to go with those different sounds. So that all sounds amazing to me.
and then how you sing the song, like at the end you could go, come on and let it show.
Yes.
Beautiful. So like an ending sound. Yeah.
But that's something we're working on at the moment, actually, isn't it, Barry?
It is.
Yeah,
And that's a cover? Is that a cover of a song?
Yes. Which song's that one?
Love is all around by Wet, Wet, Wet.
Wow. Now,
So
was that from a movie?
Yes. 4 weddings and a funeral. I think.
Wow. Okay.
right.
Yeah. That was a huge. I think when that came out, that was a really popular film. And I think that song was really popular too, right?
It was.
So are you preparing a cover version?
We are.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
So we're looking at Barry's voice and the types of sounds that come more easily and stronger and are more sustainable.
Yeah.
So Barry has a really great, like, more lower baritone sound.
Yeah. Almost bass, right?
Yeah, it's
like it's
fantastic.
really low.
It's great. But certain sounds he himself has said to me that he finds hard to hold or make and
yeah.
keep. So we're just looking at sort of making little changes to the cover, to our cover, to make it more in line with the Mr. Barry Fear. So we're going to do a Barry Fear version. And yeah, it's pretty
That's
exciting.
like Sia, right? So the artist Sia,
Yeah.
when she covers a song, she actually sometimes sings like a different melody to the
That's
song. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Because she just wants to make it interesting and different and use what's good about her voice.
The strengths.
The strengths of her voice. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that. So
Yeah.
you're like Sia, eh? You know Sia? Have you heard of
I
Sia?
wanna swing from the chandelier.
Do you remember that one?
I haven't heard it, but I'll have to have a listen to it.
Definitely
She's
will, mate.
amazing vocalist.
Yeah.
So good. So we're looking at things like that at the moment, and we just finished your bridge last week, didn't we, for your original?
Yep.
That's
So
cool.
the lyrics are done there, which is awesome.
So, here's another tip for music and songwriters. Don't stress, get uptight if things aren't right. Okay, you've got to time your time when you're coming in, and before you start, warm your voice up. Like I've just given you a demo just a moment ago, and work out how you're going to start the intro to the song off. Like going, and then take another deep breath by going, and then breathe out again, and then start your song, and always relax. Here's Alec.
Yeah, that sounds like really good advice. Great tips, mate. So making sure that you're nice and relaxed, you'll perform your best if you're sort of relaxed, and also breathing. Breathing is so important for singing, isn't it? So
It is.
It's easy to run out of breath when you're singing. So you've got to make sure that you take a nice big breath before you start, and before each sort of stanza or whatever. And so that you can hold the notes for a nice long amount of time, and that it sounds good. Yeah, so breathing's super important, isn't it?
And if you know you've got to be ready to practice, always go to bed nice and early. Okay, get a good night's sleep as well. Don't lie awake all night thinking, is this gonna work? Or this isn't gonna work. Don't go down the negative track. Here's Alec.
Yeah, that's right. So, that's a very natural thing, though, isn't it? To be worried about something in the future. Sometimes you can be a bit anxious about it, but it's not really productive, is it?
It's not.
No. So you want to try not to worry about it. Get a good night's sleep. and just be positive and hopeful about how it's going to go. You know, just say to yourself, well, it doesn't matter if it doesn't go well. If it goes well, it goes well, and I'm just going to do my best. You know, so staying positive.
So another thing is working out when you're gonna start the making and when you're gonna finish the album. And I went out, had a couple of photo sessions. We went out to Palm Beach, got a photo for the album, and also write a little spiel about yourself and why you're writing the album. Here's Breda now.
Yeah, so I think you're talking about like a little bio.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, so, yes, it's always nice, like, for your listeners to get to know who you are a little bit more intimately, and sort of get to know a little bit about your passions and what you enjoy and what kind of a person you are and what kind of things you advocate for and what makes you happy to be alive. So I actually always really enjoy reading the artists that I really like's little bio and introduction to the album as well. So this is very much like a concept album for you, which is amazing. And I know that you've spent lots of time writing your bio and introduction, which just to explain to people why you're writing it and what your concept is for this first EP of yours. And it is lovely because it touches people a little bit more and they understand the songs that you've chosen and perhaps even why you've chosen them before they have a listen or even while they're listening. So it's great. And even having your photos, like taking your photos of yourself and for your album cover and things like that. You may even want to add another one on the inside. It's nice for people to see you in all of your light and feel in some way connected to you. So yeah.
And also we talked about last time on the show having a place to set up and where you're going to launch your album and when you're going to launch it. So if it's going to be put out over the radio or the television, you must always discuss with your site manager what you're going to do, how you're going to launch your album. Like if you're going to involve the media, okay, always get permission from your site manager. Don't just ring up Channel 9 or Channel 10 or Channel 7 and say this is happening, because breaking news could be happening that day and the news might tell you what we need to know what the story's about and whether it's newsworthy or not. Here's Alex.
Yeah, so it's always a good idea, isn't it, to talk to your house manager or site manager about the plans that you have for events, like launch events and that kind of thing. And the news cycle is a really interesting thing, isn't it? So quite often I think those TV stations do like to do human interest stories, and they'll use them when actually there's a slow point in the news cycle. So if there's not a lot of big news happening, then they'll use those human interest stories to be extra little bits in the news session. So they do quite like that, don't they? They like covering launches and that kind of thing. But it does, yeah, like if there's a big like disaster or something on the news, then it just bumps everything else, doesn't it? They end up spending the whole news session talking about that one thing. So it's very much at the way of the news cycle.
So be prepared if the news can't cover it, but if the stations themselves can't cover it, get your local newspaper to cover it, such as the Mainland Daily or the North Shore Times. But again, get the permission from your site manager if you're going to involve media. And also be careful on your Facebook. Here's Alex.
Yeah, that's right. So Facebook and social media are great channels, aren't they? So lots and lots of people read their feeds on different platforms like Facebook. And it is a good way of getting your message out there and advertising and telling people about what's coming up. You have to do it sort of safely and in an interesting way, don't you? But it is a fantastic channel.
But remember, like with the music, the same with the music, don't just steal someone else's work and put it on your post. Be really careful.
Yeah.
Well, now it is time to talk about how far I've got with the show. Well, this is episode 44, like I've said. And I've done 44 episodes since I've got back to NSW. Now, isn't that a great achievement? Here's Alex.
Yeah, mate, it's amazing. It's you haven't been back that long, and you've done 44 episodes. That's amazing. That's a lot of content that you've produced. It's really impressive.
And also, I've done 5 intros and outros in a short period of time. Now, we did the Wheel of Fortune intro first. That was the first one. The second one we followed up with Richmond Hill with some credits, and then Chopper Squad, a groovy little number there, and then the Channel 9 theme before I left to go to Queensland. Okay, that was the 4th one, and the 5th one was images of the Hawkesbury Bridge, and then the cars coming out of the tunnel at the end of the program, and with the CPA terrible for the logo on it. So that's how far I've got with the show, and we're working on the 6th intro and outro, and it is called The Young Doctors now. I don't want to give the surprise away, not yet anyway. So guys, 44 episodes. Wow, it is a massive achievement for us. Here's Alex.
Yeah, it's a huge achievement, mate, and it's been a lot of fun helping you with those intros and outros, and they have been so good. Lots of fantastic ideas and concepts that have been executed on over the years with those intros and outros. I'm not sure. I love the latest one, but I think the Channel 9 one is probably my favourite. I think it's a really, really good, awesome one. And it's very retro, but yet cool, and I think it's just a really good one. That's probably my favourite one so far. But really looking forward to the new one that we're going to produce. We're going to shoot a little bit of footage that we can drop into it, which should be good. But yeah, it should be a really good one. It's going to be fun.
So how the show came about. I decided to do a show about the intro and outro, and now I'm in the process of doing the show outside as well. Give you viewers a taste of what's to come up in future episodes. Here's Alex.
Yeah, so I think this is the Out and About series, isn't it? So you're thinking
It
of, so you're thinking of doing some episodes on location in different places around Sydney. And this just sounds so interesting to me. So talking a little bit about the history of those places that you're going to and showing the viewers the amazing scenery and just what sounds like a really interesting new kind of topic for the show. It sounds fantastic.
So it is really important, guys, to really jazz up the show a bit. And if I can just pause to have a bit of a hot cup of tea, and we'll just take a break. Stay with us. Welcome back to episode 44. And I'm Barry Fair with Alec, Taylor and Beta. You know, loving is easy, right? If you focus on the right things. Giving and not taking, it can only be a dream. And that's part of these are some of the lyrics of my first track. And you know, writing that song made me feel special inside. And you know, guys, you should really be proud of your work. Here's Alec now to open the rest of today's show with that.
Thanks, Barry. Yeah, and thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, those lyrics sound amazing, mate. So, and it's so impressive that you've written an original song. I cannot wait to hear your recording of it. I cannot wait. So excited, and I do think you should be enormously proud of it, mate. That's a huge achievement.
And nothing is easy if you focus on the right thing. Giving, not taking, it can only be a dream. That's how it starts.
That's awesome.
What a great hook you in straight away, don't you think, Alec?
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful.
It does sound awesome.
So, getting back onto the history of the show, I've been so blessed in bringing the show to you since I've come back. And it's so great to be here. And, you know, I feel proud to be your host, your narrator, you name it. And I'm proud to be writing music for you guys. Really proud. Here's Alec now.
Yeah, mate, you've been a jack of all trades on your channel, haven't you? You've done everything. Sound engineer and, you know, producer and everything. So yeah, you've been very busy and kept active and incredibly creative, very creative. And now creative in a new way with songmaking.
And also being committed to this show in Beta.
Yeah, look, commitment is I think so important, and you touched on that earlier when we first opened the show. But I think commitment is what makes 99% of dreams not happen. What do you think about that? Would you agree?
Do you mean?
Well, if you're not committing yourself to the task, then why are you dreaming about it?
That's true. So you can have many dreams and many kind of desires and aspirations and things you want to accomplish. But if you're not committed to making it a reality and to working hard sometimes a little harder than, other times, but if you're not committed to giving it your all, then, it won't happen for you. And that's something that I admire in you, Barry. I admire week after week you coming back here and being a committed human to all of the projects that you're working on. And you inspire me a lot with that. And I'm really grateful to have met you here and to be working with you and learning from you, as you know, and you've got a lot to teach people.
And Alison, I've got a question to ask you.
Is it a live YouTube question?
Do you think, Alison, that you should commit yourself to all aspects in life?
Yes. And I think that we push ourselves to the extent that we can, and every day that's a little bit different. But I think it's a life worth lived if we're fully involved.
So, the question I'd like to ask you, Bill, this morning, out on the show, is should you bother to commit yourself if you're not going to? Comment on the link below. Here's Alex.
Yeah, that's a great engagement question, isn't it? So anyone who's watching your video, they can share their experience about commitment as well. I think that's a great idea. Are you looking for someone or something? No.
I wanted to ask Barry a question off air.
Oh, shall we take a 10-second break?
Want to take a break?
So, guys, really do commit yourself to what you're organizing, such as writing is easy, like singing a song. Don't just forget about the work, okay? And if you're getting nervous, do what I just did then. Sip on a nice cup of Lipton tea or Twiling's tea, nibble on some popcorn to get you, get some sugar into you. And Vanessa.
Yes, hi Barry.
If I can ask you a question on the show.
Anything, go for it.
What makes you commit to your goals?
I think that in life we actually have to have something that gets us up in the morning and we feel joy. And goals are really something that's really personal. So I think it's great when you choose a goal, you really want to commit to it because it's going to give you a sense of purpose. I think that's really important. And I think all our goals are all different. And they keep changing. That's what life's all about. We keep changing. When we achieve one goal, we want to go on to another goal.
And another thing I'd like to talk about on the show is not being criticizing towards one another. And this is important.
Oh, absolutely. Because being critical of others, where does that get you? It just makes the other person feel
we're on the road to nowhere.
song.
We're on the road to nowhere.
I expect nothing less than a song from you, Barry, especially when you're with Vita. Bound to be snuck in.
So, thanks for coming on the show.
Fantastic. Thanks for grabbing me. I'll catch you next time.
So, being criticizing towards one another, guys, come on, no need for that. And like I demonstrated this morning before we came on air, this morning, I didn't go out on the board and think, oh, what? Because that's not the way to go. Here's better.
So forgiveness is the way to go, though.
But forgiveness is the way to go. And it's simple if you know the rules. And heart and mind to be aligned.
It's time to grow.
It's time to grow and time to grow, because it's no good coming in with the lights out.
That's it.
Switch them on, because if you've heard the song Baby When the Lights Go Out, because that is a negative way of looking at music. So, we've had a bit of fun this morning. Now, on to some exciting news about what is coming up on the spring series. Well, coming up on the spring series, ladies and gentlemen, we've got tips on how to keep your garden looking spruce for spring and summer, what vegetables to grow, what grows in late winter and early spring and summer, you name it, we'll be bringing a lot to you. I'm helping spring eating as well. Here's Alec.
Yeah, that sounds great, mate. I'm looking forward to hearing all about that in the spring series. Lots of things about the garden, because as the weather warms up, the garden will grow, and in fact, it's always a good time to sort of trim and prune and make things look nice. So yeah, sounds really good. Sounds like there's going to be some really interesting things coming up on the show.
And also, planning that all-important trip away too. If you're planning on going away, and look what Vader's brought in on the show.
What is that?
Vader,
Smell and try and find.
is it mint?
It is mint. Check. There we go. Where's that being grown, Barry?
That is being grown.
Beautiful specimen.
That has been grown right here in the garden of St. Ives. In the gardens of St. Ives.
Beautiful.
Yeah, now, just going over a bit of what we've discussed this morning on the show. Okay, committing yourself to writing the song, being prepared, making sure you've got the lyrics, okay, letting people know if you're unable to cut it, instead of just going, I don't want to do it because being angry is such a wasted emotion. Here's Alec now.
Yeah, that's right. Angry is not a helpful emotion at all, is it? So it's much better if you're positive and open and accepting and welcoming. So yeah, that's a much more constructive and productive way of navigating the world.
And don't just think the world evolves around you. Here's Brandon now.
Yeah, look, it's a very fine line between kind of looking after yourself and like having to put yourself as a priority in your life, and sort of the line that crosses that where you fail to look out for those that you interact with on a daily basis and others in your community. So I do agree with the fact that, we should be of service and trying to do good and help others along in this game we call life. I do think you also need to take some time to look after yourself as well and live as much of an active lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle as possible. And one of the ways that we can do that is by healthy eating. And that was part of something you enjoy too, don't you, Barry? You enjoy cooking and finding recipes that have lots of fresh and healthy ingredients in them.
And also, don't just fill up on junk food like your hamburgers, your chips. Alex,
Like my lunch yesterday.
And mine last week.
Maybe every now and then.
Every now and then.
Every now and then. It's an every now and then food, not an everyday food.
so you need to look after yourself. And well, if you're gonna be a musician or a television presenter, radio announcer, that sort of thing. Here's Alec now.
Yeah, it's almost no matter what you're going to be and what you are, it's actually good to look after yourself and eat healthily. Everything in moderation, and look after yourself. It's a good idea, isn't it?
So don't just fill up on bacon and egg McMuffins or greasy $1 hash browns every day. And smell that mint.
What do you have mint on?
I think it's actually spearmint, would you believe?
Are you kidding?
No, have a smell. I actually think it's not mint. It's spearmint, which is delicious.
Oh, wow.
Isn't it? Have a sniff of that. I'll just break it a little bit so you can actually smell the scent.
Wow.
I think it is because the leaves look like little spears.
Yeah.
It's
Smells great.
just beautiful. Smells like extra chewing gum. Anywho.
Or Colgate too.
That too, yes,
toothpaste.
I could see that.
So guys, really be committed to music, okay? And like we said before, don't just go and just rip off someone else's work, because again, you could be taken to court for that. And like I said last week on episode 43, please don't be an absolute fool. And work out when you're going to plan the launch, when and where. And choose a venue that has wheelchair access. Here's Alex.
Yeah, that's right. So you want to be able to be as inclusive as possible and make it so that anyone can come along. So it's always good to have wheelchair access and always good to plan it too. So work through with site managers and those kinds of people to make sure everybody knows what's happening and that it's all okay.
So we're just about out of time here on the show, and the last day of and we'll just cut doing another show with that. We're just about out of time here on the show. Thanks for joining us today, and we'd like to thank you for being a part of the winter series. I've enjoyed bringing it to you. I had a lot of fun this winter bringing it to you and all of that. And the message that we're gonna close the show with in just a few moments, and that is 000, but we'll get to that at the conclusion. Firstly, I would like to thank you, the viewers, for tuning in to my 44th episode today, and it won't be long until I get to the 50th episode. Here's Alec now.
Yeah, mate. So you've been very busy and got a lot of episodes created. Bringing an end to the winter series soon. Just a few more days before spring.
Today is the final Monday of our winter series, and thank you so much for being a part of it. And remember, if you've enjoyed the show so far, please let me know. Here's Alec.
Yeah, it's always good to hear from people who've watched the show and to have them reach out and maybe comment is always a great thing, isn't it? And yeah, last Monday of winter, heading into spring. Cannot wait. Cannot wait.
And you may not have looked outside your window this morning. The days are starting to get longer too. Here's Alec now.
Yeah, I have noticed that as well, definitely. So the sun is coming up earlier and going down later, and every day seems to be getting longer and longer, which is great. More sunlight, and slightly warmer days. So yeah, it's really exciting.
And just to finish off with the tape that I brought in today, and here it is there. The Young Talentine Now and Then album from Hammer. It's got heaps of cool songs on there. And here's Alec to tell you what songs are on there.
Yeah, it is an amazing cassette. Side one has Call Me, Material Girl, Bad Habits, The Riddle, Fame, Power of Love, Crazy for You, Gymnasium, There's No Stopping Us, Like a Surgeon, wow, Never Ending Story, I Want to Know Where Love Is,
What Love Is,
Memory, I Want to Know Where Love Is, Memory, We Close Our Eyes, New Attitude, Walking on the Chinese Wall. So that's side one. And then side two has He's a Rebel, I'm Your Little Boy, Fool on the Hill, Words, Down on the Corner, Impossible Dream, Little White Cloud That Cried, Downtown, Falling in Love Again, Hopelessly Devoted to You, from Greece, I presume, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, Morningtown Ride, MacArthur Park, Put Your Head on My Shoulder, Blue Bayou, and All My Loving. Oh, All My Loving, which is how you end every episode of
Young
Young Talent Time. Awesome.
So how many tracks altogether?
Mate, I would have to count them. They're not numbered. So I'm not sure.
You take the tape out, it should tell you.
Oh, okay. So it looks like 16 on both sides, so 32 tracks in total.
32 tracks.
Wow, that is a lot, isn't it?
So this is what an actual tape is, okay? You've got the two little wheels there and the tape that runs over, okay? So when one side finishes, the other will play in reverse. And that's what a tape looks like. And then you've got the magnetic head there. Is that right?
Yeah, so that's where the magnetic head reads the little tape. And there's a little backing to it as well. So
So that's what the inside of the tape looks like.
Yeah. Wow. So cool.
So we are out of time, guys, and thank you so much for being with us today. And thank you to all our guest appearances as well. And before we do go, I forgot to mention the new intro and outro. I'm coming soon to a screen near you. Don't forget to tune into that. And also daylight saving will start very soon on the 1st of October, and there will be no show on the 2nd of October due to the public holiday. And my word, Alec, how 2023 has gone. It has gone like the Kieran used to tell you.
Yeah, thanks, Barry. It has gone fast, hasn't it? It has gone so fast. And we've got to make sure that we enjoy every day, don't we? Because otherwise it's just going to go too fast. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to daylight saving too.
Well, we certainly hope that you have enjoyed the show and the winter series, and we thank you very much for joining us today on episode 44, my 44th episode. Well, wouldn't you believe it? So 6 more episodes, so I reached 50.
Wow.
I think we should do something to celebrate it.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
What do you think?
Yeah, great idea.
And we'd like to know what your favorite episode has been throughout the time that the show has when the show returned, or should I say, since the return of the show in March, okay, where I did the very first show in this room, and I do remember doing my last show with Alec in the room there. That was a bit of an emotional time, but here I am now, back as usual, bringing some awesome stuff to you. And now the message that I would like to close the show with, and that is a very important message and a community message. Please do not, and us three, repeat, please do not call 000 unless you have a time critical emergency. 000 is only to be used in an emergency, not the stupid, frank, trivial issues like you need a pizza delivered, your souffles not rising in the oven, your sausages are burnt, and your car won't start. Please do not ring 000 either than say that you've locked the keys in the car, or you need to get a phone number. Here's Alec now to close this show with that.
Yeah, thanks, Barry. Always a good announcement, community service announcement at the end of your show to only use 000 in case of an emergency.
And Veda, what do you think about that?
As always, Barry, I totally agree with you, and I really, I'm also an advocate for only using 000 in an emergency, and I love that you close the show with this every time. I said because it really is a gentle reminder to all that, you know, some of us, you know, will and do require 000's services because you are in an emergency, and so just to sort of keep that as a, like, almost save it for only very crucial times, you know.
So don't just use it just to get a lift to the shopping centre, get a taxi or a friend to take you down to your local GP or to wherever. Don't just ring them and be lazy. And for those who can drive cars, please use your car. Only go to the hospital if you really need to, but don't waste the resources of 000. Now, I'm going to put it out there that you may think that 000 operators might be busier than you might think. So only use 000 only for an emergency purpose. Think, is your urgency an emergency? Because the wrong call that you make to 000, we've just seen an ambulance go by now outside our premises. They might be off to an emergency now, so paramedics are only there for emergencies. Here's Alec now.
Yeah, that's right, mate. So always a good way to end the show. Make sure that you only call 000 in an emergency. And yeah, we just saw an ambulance go past, and it's a good reminder, isn't it, that people should only use 000 in an emergency.
And with the school holidays coming up, well, okay, teach your kids when to call 000 and when it is not the right time, because there will be serious consequences with that, because you don't want to be caught in the act and then be fined a huge amount of money, a huge fine, because you could be taking up the time for someone that really needs the ambulance like me. Here's Peter now to take us out.
Yeah, so we look forward to you joining us on our 45th episode next week, the first one of spring 2023. And we've got lots to share with you. Barry's got lots of things to discuss and share with you. He's very excited, as are we. And we hope you have a lovely Monday.
And just a reminder too that the markets are coming up this Saturday, so bring the kids, and anything you don't want, bring it up.
Yeah.
And
So we've got books. We're going to be selling recycled books, recycled clothing. So if you've got any stuff lying around the house that you think is still in good nick, and we could get about $5 for each piece, then you're welcome to bring that along as well. We're at 6 Stanley Street, St Ives, and the markets will be starting from about 9 and finishing at 2 p.m. this coming Saturday.
And also September is coming up as well, so get your steptometer, and all you've got to do is get on the website now and find out how you can get involved with September. Here's Alex now to take us out with that. I'm Barry Fair. You'll have a great Monday and I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks for having me on the show.
Ciao for now.
Here's Alex to remind you about September.
Yeah, so look it up on the website, join in, have fun, and have lots of steps in September.
And we will see you for episode 45 coming up in 7 days. And Alex, I will see you in 2 weeks.
Yep, see you then, mate.
See you then.
Have a
And
good one. See you, bye.
as Tony Barber used to say, keep smiling and bye for now. Thanks for joining us on the show today. Bye bye. See you next week, guys. Bye bye.